Hey, you guys, this is Erico, and I am back again on your computer screens. I hope you guys are doing fantastic because you're watching this video. Click the notification bell, subscribe if you want to see me give my opinion on East Asian pop culture as well as other current events. This is some sad news, you guys, and this news broke back in July of Kazuyuki Takahashi's death. If you don't know who he is the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a long-time franchise. We're talking movies, multiple spin-offs, a card game that has sold over 40 million copies. I was shocked when I really went back and I looked at this information. I thought Pokemon was a popular franchise, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Came behind and just dominated. This is a series that's been out since the 80s, and Takahashi worked his hardest on all the characters, the monsters, just drawing, and at age 60, this show for him is still going. There's still spin-offs that are being shown, and it's still a very beloved series. He was found on the coast. He washed up on the shore, and a coastal guard found his body. And at first there wasn't a lot of details for what had actually happened, and now more details have come out. So it started with him planning a snorkeling trip to Okinawa. He was going to go and see the Mermaid Grotto, which is a very popular spot where people go and they snorkel, and it's supposed to be really beautiful. So he had planned to do that. He had rented a car. He had no idea that he was going to be involved in a deadly survival situation, and that he would be like the side character to all of it, and then just kind of his actions in the moment created this conclusion. So he went there at the same time as an American soldier who was meeting up with his students. They were also going to go snorkeling, and as they get there, they see that there are people in the water struggling. The waves are ferocious. They're being pulled under. There is a whirlpool forming, basically. So this American soldier runs and tries to help because there's already a soldier in the water trying to help this mother and their child as they're screaming for help, and they're all being pulled under to the whirlpool. The students run and, you know, they try to help as much as they can. And once again, Takahashi is like the side character in all of this that nobody really noticed until it was too late. So the American soldier jumps in and he tries to help the struggling soldier who was originally trying to save the mother and daughter. I believe the daughter fell in and the mother first jumped in to try to help her. And they're all struggling because no one realizes how strong the waves are until you actually get in it. And this is something that happens a lot, and it really does drown people, and you don't realize what you're going up against until it's in your face. So he's struggling, and from his account, he's saying that he really thought that it was it for him. He eventually gets to the girl and the mother, and he paddles with all his might to get back to shore. Then he goes back again and he tries to help the American soldier, and he said that he really thought that when he went back to help the other soldier that it was it for him, and that he was thinking of his family and his children and how this was the end. But he said that he had to let the American soldier, his fellow ally, go. And at first I thought that he let him go when he went into the whirlpool, and I was like, oh my god. But apparently no, he had to let him go, and somehow they did get him out with instructions. So once again, Takahashi people forgot about him really, and then all of a sudden there is his body that washes up. And when the American soldier was being awarded for helping the mother and child and for being heroic, it comes out from the two students in their account that they did see Takahashi that day. He was there on the side. He put on his snorkeling equipment and he jumped in trying to help because he saw that the two soldiers and everyone was struggling and they were being pulled closer and closer to this whirlpool. And he said they saw him jump in, but he started to struggle and the waves eventually took him under. And that was the last that the two students saw of him. So this is really devastating and it's sad because you wouldn't think that someone would go out like this, but you never know where life is going to take you. You never know when your time will come. I do think that this is an important lesson that I'm going to be very honest and candid. It's not always good to jump in and try to be the hero in certain situations, especially when you see that people that are experts. We're talking about 2 American soldiers that are trained in water combat are struggling. The last thing I would have done was try to jump into those waves and try to save anybody. What I would have done is stayed my behind on shore, ran up the coast, ran to the closest town, called 911 on my cell phone, screamed and hollered, I would have been, they would have thought I was crazy. They would have been like, I'm the crazy gaijin. Because I would have been, everybody would have been woken up from their afternoon naps. I would have been screaming, hollering, banging on doors, calling every number in my phone, pointing to the grotto. Because of that, I don't think that it would have helped for me to try to jump in, to try to swim or do, you know, it's like I don't want to be baggage. I don't want to be another victim that they have to save. I think that he just saw people struggling. He's like, let me try to go and help. And then once he got in there, the wave just overtook him and that was it. And it's sad that he leaves behind so many people that he inspired. He inspired so many manga artists, so many animators who looked up to him, who still look up to him. And because of his actions at the spur of the moment, he lost his life at 60 years old. And I do think that his actions were heroic, but I do also wish that he had just taken a beat and stepped back and been like, you know, I'm basically going to my death because there's nothing I can really do jumping in the water trying to help. Even if people who are trained and mind you, the soldier who saved the people was not young himself, you know. So even with that being said, maybe he thought he's not young. I don't know what he thought. I think that he just saw people in distress and he was like, let me go. Him having that courageous heart was definitely shown in his work in Yugioh and in the characters that are in that series. I see it. And to know that he was a person that would see someone who was hurting or who was screaming for help and would actually try to help that person says a lot about him and says a lot about his passion and his work. And I do think that this also showcases this as well, and it's such a beautiful thing. I do think, you guys, though, that in situations like this, you shouldn't try to always take the matters into your own hands, because you definitely could be sealing the fate on your own life, and it's not always a good thing. I'm not saying that he wasn't heroic, but I do wish that he had definitely gone about it a different way, because the people he was trying to help didn't even see him. That's the sad part about it. They didn't even see him. So, you know, it's like he was pulled under and his body has been just floating around just under the sea. It's so sad. That's just so sad, you guys. It makes you think about life. It makes you think about a lot of things and just reflect and just think, you guys, like before you act. No matter, you know, all of the stuff that might be happening in the moment, definitely think about the cause and the effect before you do things. And, you know, like, is this me throwing away my life? So, you guys, this is a lot to think about. Put below how you feel. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. I also have a blog on East Asian pop culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real, and I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching. Put below how you feel about this devastating event, and I will be back in another video.